Sitting here in my small sanctuary on the outskirts of Santa Fe, New Mexico, I watch the aspen leaves dancing in the morning breeze. After 40 years dedicated to monastic life, I've decided to share one of the deepest revelations I received during my meditations and studies. It's a story about how the numbers surrounding us carry powerful messages capable of transforming our existence. It all began when I was just 19 years old. Back then, I was a restless young man searching for answers to life's big questions. That's when I met Master William, a centenarian monk who would forever change my perspective. On a particularly foggy morning, Master William called me for a walk through the monastery gardens. His eyes, though tired by time, shone with ancient wisdom. "Young man," he said, "have you noticed how numbers dance around us? They're not just mathematical symbols, they're portals to understanding the universe." I confess that initially, I found that conversation somewhat mysterious. How could someone find spiritual meaning in simple numbers? But the Master, with his characteristic patience, began to guide me through a fascinating journey through what he called the dance of sacred numbers. We started with the number 12, which he considered the foundation of all understanding. "Observe," he said, pointing to the meditation garden. "Just as we have 12 months in the year, 12 signs in the zodiac, the number 12 represents the fullness of life's cycles." He taught me that when we understand the rhythm of 12, we understand that everything has its time and moment. For months, I spent hours meditating on every aspect of this number. I noticed how it manifested in my own life, in the 12 hours of day, the 12 hours of night, the 12 disciples in ancient scriptures. It was as if the universe was showing me that harmony is present everywhere. I just needed eyes to see it. The Master then introduced me to the power of number 4. "Look at the 4 pillars of this sanctuary," he would say, "just as they support this structure. The number 4 represents the fundamental basis of our existence." I learned that without stability, no true growth is possible. The 4 taught me about the importance of building solid foundations in everything we do. It was during a 31-day retreat that I understood the true meaning of number 31. Each day was an exercise in creativity and practicality. The Master challenged us to find innovative solutions to everyday problems while keeping our feet on the ground. "Creativity without direction is like a boat without a rudder," he used to say. Number 29 revealed itself to me during a particularly profound experience. During a 29-hour meditation session, with short breaks, I experienced an extraordinary connection with all beings. The intuition and sensitivity that blossomed at that moment remain with me to this day, reminding me of the importance of keeping my heart open to the needs of others. The 23 emerged in my life through an unexpected teaching. For 23 days, I was assigned to mediate conflicts between the younger monks of the sanctuary. This experience showed me the value of balance between listening and speaking, between leading and following. Master William always smiled when he saw me in this role, as if he knew it was a fundamental lesson for my growth. Number 19 marked the end of my first cycle as a novice. It was a moment of profound transformation, where I had to decide if I would continue on the monastic path. The independence that this number represents gave me the courage to make this conscious choice, not out of obligation, but out of true vocation. Number 28 manifested in a surprising way in my journey. For 28 consecutive days, Master William assigned me as the temporary leader of a group of young monks. True leadership, he taught me, is not about commanding, but inspiring. Each of those 28 days brought a different challenge, testing not only my decision-making ability, but primarily my ability to maintain compassion even in the most challenging situations. I particularly remember the 15th day when a severe storm hit the monastery. Number 15, which had been manifesting in different aspects of my life, showed its true essence that night. As we coordinated efforts to protect the sanctuary and its inhabitants, I understood that the creativity and nurturing that this number represents are not just abstract concepts, but practical tools for survival and growth. The storm lasted 5 full days, and that's when number 5 revealed its transformative power. Amidst the chaos of the elements, we experienced an unexpected freedom, the freedom to adapt, to change, to find new paths. Master William, even at an advanced age, demonstrated surprising agility in adapting to circumstances, exemplifying the adventurous and flexible spirit of number 5. Number 20 emerged in my consciousness during the reconstruction period after the storm. For 20 days, we worked in pairs, alternating partners daily. This experience illuminated the true meaning of duality and the importance of balanced associations. Observe how number 20 teaches us about patience, the Master would say, for our partner doesn't always walk at the same pace as we do. It was during this period that I began to perceive how all these numbers intertwined in a perfect cosmic dance. The 12 showed us cycles, the 4 gave us structure, the 31 inspired us with creativity, the 29 connected us through intuition, the 23 balanced us, the 19 liberated us, the 28 guided us, the 15 nourished us, the 5 adventured us, and the 20 taught us about relationships. Years passed and Master William, in his final days, shared with me one last teaching about numbers. Each number, he whispered, is like a key that opens a different door to self-knowledge, but true wisdom lies in understanding that all doors lead to the same place, to the heart of existence. Today, as I guide other spiritual seekers, I realize how those lessons remain alive and relevant. Numbers are not just mathematical symbols or bearers of luck. They are silent teachers that accompany us in every moment of our lives. The storm we faced in those days became a powerful metaphor in my teachings. Just as numbers 12 and 4 provided us with the structure to face adversity, 31 and 29 gave us the creativity and intuition to find innovative solutions. The 23 kept us balanced amid chaos, while 19 gave us the independence necessary to make difficult decisions. The leadership of 28 proved essential during the crisis, while the nurturing creativity of 15 helped us keep hope alive. The adventurous spirit of 5 allowed us to adapt to unforeseen situations, and the duality of 20 taught us the importance of cooperation and patience. I remember a young disciple who arrived at the sanctuary a few years ago, as lost as I was in my youth. His name was Jack, and his story made me relive many of the lessons I learned about sacred numbers. Jack was a successful executive who had lost his sense of life after achieving all his material goals. When he arrived at the sanctuary, he was completely unbalanced, seeking answers in the wrong places. That's when I decided to share with him the knowledge of sacred numbers, just as Master William had done with me. We started with number 12, establishing a 12-week program for his initial transformation. Each week represented a different aspect of his life that needed attention and healing. See, I told him, just as the clock marks 12 hours, your life also needs to find its own natural rhythm. During the first 4 weeks, we focused on the fundamental foundations, the power of number 4. We established 4 essential pillars for his recovery: physical health, emotional balance, mental clarity, and spiritual connection. Jack initially resisted, accustomed to quick results from the corporate world, but gradually began to understand the importance of patience. On the 31st day of his stay, corresponding to the energy of number 31, I witnessed his first true discovery. During a meditation session at dawn, he finally understood how he could unite his experience in the business world with a higher purpose. The creativity of 31 manifested in ideas for social projects that he would later implement. Number 29 revealed itself surprisingly when Jack spent 29 days in voluntary silence. During this period, his intuition flourished extraordinarily. He began to perceive nuances in people and situations that previously went unnoticed in his accelerated life. The balance of number 23 manifested through a project Jack developed at the sanctuary, creating a bridge between traditional meditative practices and the needs of the modern corporate world. For 23 days, he worked on this project, finding the perfect balance between tradition and innovation. The deepest transformation came with number 19, marking the closure of his old way of life and the birth of a new perspective. It was at this moment that he decided not to return to his old executive position, opting instead to create a foundation that would help other executives find meaning in their lives. The energy of number 28 manifested in his new leadership stance. No longer the authoritarian leader of before, but someone who guided through example and wisdom. He spent 28 days developing a new leadership style based on the principles he had learned at the sanctuary. The creative power of number 15 blossomed when he began writing about his experiences. During 15 intense days, he produced a manuscript that would later become a bestseller, helping thousands of people find their own path of transformation. The adventurous spirit of number 5 inspired him to travel to 5 different states, sharing his learnings and connecting with different cultures and spiritual traditions. Each trip lasted exactly 5 weeks, a period he found to be ideal for truly absorbing the essence of each place. Finally, number 20 manifested through the partnerships Jack established. For 20 months, he built a national network of meditation and personal development centers, always working in pairs with local leaders, honoring the energy of duality and cooperation that this number represents. Observing Jack's transformation made me reflect on my own journey and how numbers continued to dance in my life in ever deeper ways. I realized that each number not only carried its own meaning, but also connected with others in an infinite web of meanings. One day, while meditating under an old oak tree in the sanctuary's garden, I had a revelation about how these numbers manifest in cycles. Number 12, for example, not only represents the months of the year, but also the cycles of transformation that we all go through. Each cycle of 12 contains within it the energies of the other sacred numbers. I began to notice how number 4 established the foundations for each new cycle of 12. Like a perfect square, it gave us the stability necessary to grow. The 4 elements, earth, water, fire, and air, constantly reminded us of the importance of balance in all things. Number 31 revealed itself in moments of transition when creativity was most needed. I observed how nature used this number in its own renewal cycles. The seeds needed exactly 31 days to germinate in our meditation garden, a constant reminder of the power of creative transformation. The sensitivity of number 29 manifested in the relationships between the monks and visitors to the sanctuary. I noticed that the deepest and most meaningful bonds usually formed after 29 days of coexistence, when intuition and empathy reached their peak. Number 23 continued to teach about balance, especially in moments of decision. I noticed that when we faced challenges in the sanctuary, the most harmonious solutions emerged after 23 days of contemplation and dialogue. The energy of number 19 manifested in moments of conclusion and new beginnings. Each time a cycle completed, it took 19 days for the new cycle to fully establish, like a butterfly emerging from its cocoon. The leadership power of number 28 proved especially important during periods of change. I observed that the most successful projects in the sanctuary were those that had an initial phase of 28 days, allowing natural leadership to emerge. The nurturing creativity of number 15 revealed itself in periods of intense growth. The most transformative spiritual practices usually reach their culmination point after 15 days of consistent practice. The adventurous spirit of number 5 constantly reminded us of the importance of adaptability. Every 5 days, we performed different practices, keeping our mind and spirit agile and open to new possibilities. The wisdom of number 20 continued to manifest through partnerships we established with other sanctuaries and spiritual centers. Each alliance was carefully cultivated for 20 days before any formal commitment, honoring the principle of duality and balance in relationships. As the years passed in the sanctuary, I began to notice how the sacred numbers manifested in increasingly subtle and profound ways. One of the most significant discoveries was realizing how they intertwined with the natural cycles of healing and transformation. During a special 108-day retreat, once again the power of 12 multiplied, I witnessed how each sacred number corresponded to a specific phase of the inner healing process. This revelation came through careful observation of hundreds of practitioners who passed through the sanctuary. The process always began with 4, establishing the necessary foundations for transformation. People first needed to find their inner stability before they could grow. It was like building a house. Without solid foundations, nothing else could stand. Then 12 came into action, guiding people through the natural cycles of change. I observed that each significant transformation went through 12 distinct stages, just as the year passes through 12 months, each with its specific purpose. The creative power of 31 naturally emerged after the foundations were established. It was as if, once secure in their bases, practitioners could finally give wings to their natural creativity. I saw people discovering talents they never knew they possessed. The intuition of 29 developed like a flower slowly blooming. People began to trust their inner voice more, recognizing the wisdom that had always been present within them. The balance of 23 manifested in relationships, both with others and with oneself. It was fascinating to observe how people naturally found their center when they allowed this number to guide them. 19 always marked moments of conclusion and new beginnings. It was as if this number carried the energy of the phoenix, allowing people to be reborn from the ashes of their old patterns. The leadership of 28 emerged naturally in those who had gone through all the previous phases. It was a different kind of leadership, not based on power or control, but on wisdom and understanding. '15 brought with it a nurturing creativity that allowed people not only to grow but also to help others in their growth. It was like a fruit-bearing tree that provides nourishment for all around it. The adventurous spirit of 5 kept the whole process alive and dynamic, preventing people from stagnating at any stage of their development. And 20, with its energy of partnership and duality, reminded everyone that no one needs to make this journey alone. The connections formed in the sanctuary were deep and lasting, based on mutual understanding and respect. Now, sitting here in my small room in the sanctuary, watching the sunset through the window, I realize that the time has come to share the last and deepest revelations about the sacred numbers. One of the most significant discoveries I made over these years was that the sacred numbers are not just tools for our personal evolution. They are portals to understanding the very fabric of reality. On a full moon night, during a deep meditation, I had a vision that unified all the teachings. I saw how the sacred numbers formed an interdependent matrix, where each number not only carried its own meaning, but also served as a bridge to the others. 12 was the main portal, the number that contained all others within itself. Like a great circle, it embraced all other numerical energies in its completeness. Within this circle, 4 formed the cardinal points, the fundamental directions that guide us on our spiritual journey. 31 created spirals of creative energy that connected all points, showing how creativity is the flow that unites all dimensions of existence. 29 pulsed like a cosmic heart, sending waves of intuition and understanding through the entire matrix. 23 kept everything in perfect balance, like a conductor leading a universal orchestra. 19 marked the points of transformation, where one energy transmuted into another. 28 radiated the light of conscious leadership, illuminating the path for all. '15 nourished each connection, each intersection, ensuring the continuous growth of the whole. 5 kept everything in motion, avoiding stagnation and promoting constant evolution. And 20 created bridges between all dimensions, reminding us of the fundamental interconnection of all existence. This vision completely changed my understanding of the sacred numbers. They weren't just symbols or concepts, they were keys to the very structure of reality. In the last years of his life, Master William had told me something that I only now fully understand. Numbers are not just quantities, they are qualities of the universe itself. When you truly understand this, you will have found the way home. Today, as I share these teachings with others, I see how each person finds their own way of dancing with the sacred numbers. Some are naturally attracted to certain numbers, while others need to work harder to understand certain energies. The most important thing is that each person finds their own rhythm, their own way of connecting with this ancient wisdom. There is no single path. There are as many paths as there are seekers. As I reflect on this journey, I realize that the sacred numbers have been more than just a system of understanding. They've been companions on a lifelong quest for meaning. They've taught me about cycles, balance, creativity, and connection in ways I never could have imagined when I first stepped into this sanctuary decades ago. I've seen how these numbers have transformed lives, from Jack, the former executive who found a new purpose, to countless others who've passed through our doors. Each person's journey with the numbers is unique, yet they all share a common thread of deeper understanding and personal growth. As the sun sets on another day, painting the New Mexico sky in hues of orange and purple, I feel a profound sense of gratitude. Gratitude for Master William's teachings, for the mysteries of the universe that continue to unfold, and for the simple yet profound wisdom contained in these sacred numbers. I know that my journey with these numbers is far from over. Even now, in my later years, I continue to discover new layers of meaning, new connections, and new ways in which these numerical energies manifest in the world around us. To those who may read this account, I offer this advice. Be open to the dance of numbers in your own life. Look for the patterns, the cycles, the moments of creation and transformation. Let the numbers guide you, but remember that you are the one who gives them meaning through your own experiences and insights. In the end, the sacred numbers are not just about mathematics or mysticism. They're about finding our place in the grand tapestry of existence. They remind us that we are all part of something larger, something infinitely complex, yet beautifully simple. As I close this chapter of my story, I invite you to begin your own journey with the sacred numbers. May they bring you the same wonder, insight, and transformation that they have brought me over these many years. And remember, in the words of Master William, when you truly understand the numbers, you will have found the way home. Your journey awaits.